Now we're going to work on evaluating logarithms. We're going to do this 3 different ways: by changing forms, by using our calculator, and by using a change of base formula. So the first way we're going to do this is by changing forms. A lot of times if you change forms, it just becomes obvious what the answer is, or you can use a calculator to figure it out. So like this one, just put in equals x and then change the form. 3 to the x equals 81. And you might be able to just see that it's 3 to the 4th is 81, or you might play around on your calculator a little bit. 3 to the 3rd is 27, 3 to the 4th is 81. So you know that x is equal to 4. Okay, like this one. Change forms. 7 to the x equals 49. My 4's never come out right. Okay, so you can tell by looking at that, what does x have to equal? 2. Okay, let's try this one. 3 to the 2nd power equals x. Just by changing forms, it becomes quite clear that x has to be 9. Change forms. 5 to the 1st equals x. So x is equal to 5. Okay, now in this one, let's see, there's no base here, so that assumes that 10 is the base. So when we change forms, we'll have 10 to the 2.5 power equals x. That one we'll probably have to use a calculator for. We'll have to put into our calculator 2 to the 2.5 power, and we get 316.2-ish. Okay, same thing here. When there's nothing there, you assume a power of 10. So when we change forms, we get 10 to the 3.2 power equals x. Put that into your calculator, and you get x is equal to about 1585. Natural log actually is shorthand for log base e. So this means e to the negative 1/2 equals x. So we can just type this into our calculator and come up with x is equal to about 0.607. So one way to evaluate a logarithm is by just changing forms and seeing if the answer becomes clear. The second way, sometimes you'll get logs that can just be put into your calculator. Your calculator does log base 10 and log base e, or natural log. So if you get something like this, you just type it into your calculator. Log of 7. Log of 9. This actually means log base e, but your calculator has a natural log or an ln button, so you just type in ln4. So these can all be done using your calculator.
That's dark. Good for your
Okay, so sometimes you won't be able to solve by changing forms. Like this, if I changed forms here, this would be 8 to the x equals 6. And that doesn't become apparent just by looking. And I can't use my calculator because it has a base 8. My calculator only does base 10 and base e. So the next thing I'm going to teach you is how to use the change of base formula. The change of base formula, and we'll go over tomorrow why the change of base formula is what it is. But the change of base formula says if you have log base b over a, you can take log base 10 of a over log base 10 of b, and that'll get you your numerical answer. The reason this is powerful is your calculator will do this. Your calculator won't do this. Okay, so we're going to use this one as an example. Log base 5 of 22 is log base 10 of 22 over log base 10 of 5. We could actually use any base here. I'm choosing 10 because my calculator does it. There's a couple different ways to enter this into your calculator. The first one, you can just enter in log of 22, make sure you close your parentheses, divided by log of 5. Make sure you close your parentheses and hit enter. Otherwise, you could do, depending on your calculator, log 22, hit enter and get a decimal. And then log 5, hit enter and get a decimal, and then divide those two decimals. So there's two ways to evaluate that on your calculator. So let's go back up to this problem. This didn't work. Changing forms didn't work because I couldn't just tell what that x would have to be. So I'm going to do, let's see, I'll look at my formula. The top one is the log of a, which is this value. So I want to do log of 6 over log of 8. I put that into my calculator. And get my answer. Down here, let's see, I have to do log of 8 over log of 4. And I'll get my answer out. So far in this intro to logs, we've talked about why we need logs, and we'll go back and answer that original question in one of our next lessons. We've talked about how you use logarithm notation. We've talked about changing forms, and we've talked about evaluating some logs. And that's all for today.